Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so sorry that I have been away for so long, but I really just didn't have any subject matter that I wanted to talk about until I thought about it and I said, oh my gosh, I have great subject matter, or at least I hope that's what you think. But today's video is going to be about Olivia Rodrigo. She's been a very hot topic in the music industry lately, and I've just been kind of observing, and I listened to her first album, Sour, and I just want to give my thoughts about the thing about Olivia Rodrigo, why some people seem to have a problem with her even though she hasn't really done anything. So before I do get into this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video, and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below, and also on my Twitter I did a live kind of tweeting of me listening to the album and reacting to it, and I'm going to keep doing that with albums. So if you want to see me do that, please go ahead and follow me on Twitter. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the video. So who is Olivia Rodrigo? Olivia Rodrigo is an 18-year-old singer-songwriter and actress. She's basically a Disney kid. So she started on Bizaardvark. There was a show called Bizaardvark, and by the time that show came out, I was definitely not watching Disney Channel. And fun fact, that show actually had Jake Paul on it, if you cared. And she is currently on the show High School Musical, the series. That show has kind of blown up on Disney Plus, and it's blown up because people really like the show and they also like the music on the show, obviously other than the High School Musical songs. But there's certain songs like the song All I Want, which got really popular from the show, which Olivia actually wrote. So you can see that she definitely has talent. People like her as an actress. People like her as a singer-songwriter from what they've seen on High School Musical, the series. Her singing, people really like. And I think people generally like her and think that she's kind of a new age Disney darling. It's honestly really easy to see how Olivia could appeal to a lot of younger teenage girls. She definitely seems kind of like the girl next door. She seems super attainable and relatable when you look at even just her look in general. She just looks like someone that you could go to high school with and you could be cool with. And she seems very friendly and very warm. And she just seems like one of those celebrities that you feel like you could relate to a lot more than other celebrities. And on top of that, I think that what gives her an extra bit of appeal is that you can tell that she's, or at least that's how she's perceived, as if she's not trying to be not like other girls, but she just isn't like other girls. So she definitely gives that off. It doesn't seem forced. And you know, her whole vibe, it just seems kind of natural to her. Another thing that people really like about her, which is something that I like about her, is that she really makes music. She actually writes, she actually makes music. Whenever I see someone do that, I instantly have a lot more respect for them, because you see in today's age that a lot of people don't make their music, and especially when you look at teenage girls, the music industry won't even let them try. So to see Olivia do well with music that she's creating on her own is super refreshing and something that I'll always support, because I think it's great for people to, you know, make their own music, and especially young girls creating their own music and it being commercially successful. It just shows that, you know, young women are also super talented singer-songwriters who should have those platforms. So why are we talking about Olivia Rodrigo? How is she popular? How has she really grown to be a huge breakout star in the year 2021? Well, she released a song called Driver's License. And if you didn't know that she released that song, now you know exactly who I'm talking about, because the song is humongous. The song Driver's License, as soon as she debuted the song, it was her first song that she had ever put out on her own. And it went #1 on Billboard immediately. It became huge on TikTok, spent weeks and weeks and weeks at #1 on Billboard, and basically shot her into superstardom immediately. I really have never seen someone debut and get that big immediately, so that was shocking. And that song itself, a lot of people love it. In my personal opinion, I think it's way too overhyped. I don't think that it should have been number one on the Billboard charts whatsoever. But that's just my opinion. Is it a bad song? No. Is it number one on Billboard? Definitely not, in my opinion. But it got really big, I think, also just because of TikTok, because of the trends that came from that song. And I think Olivia is very TikTok friendly. So ever since Driver's License got big, ever since then, she's just been super TikTok friendly. And TikTok is the way to get a number one nowadays. So I definitely understand why she became number one. It definitely had a lot to do with TikTok. But that song also came with a lot of drama that made people interested in Olivia. And here's where we get into why people, I think, don't really like Olivia Rodrigo, or she's kind of a polarizing figure in the stan universe in the music industry right now. So her first song, Driver's License, which we all know, and if you don't know, then you haven't been listening to the radio, and honestly, I can't blame you. I don't listen to the radio either, but anyways. So the song got really big and people realized who she was talking about. So Olivia Rodrigo apparently used to date Joshua Bassett, who is her co-star on High School Musical, the series. Now, Joshua Bassett, he seems like that cute kind of, nice guy type boy. He's not like, he just seems like a cute Disney boy, I guess. And I guess Olivia fell head over heels for him, but he left her for some blonde girl, which she said in the song, which I don't think that Olivia should have done. But hey, that's what she did. And so people started to realize who she was talking about in the song, and they started to harass Joshua Bassett and the girl that Olivia was referring to when she said that blonde girl, who is Sabrina Carpenter, another Disney starlet who's, had some success outside of Disney and who's, I think, super talented as well. So all three of them, it's so funny because all three of them, I think, have really great potential to move on from Disney and become really good musicians in the music industry because they all have talent. And it's just so funny to see this little love triangle. But I think that's the first criticism of Olivia. In the Driver's License song, she said, "And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt," right? And there were paparazzi pictures of Joshua Bassett and Sabrina Carpenter. They're friends. It's clear that she's talking about Sabrina Carpenter. And I think a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that she referred to Sabrina as that blonde girl, basically kind of blaming both of them for the heartbreak that she's going through, that she's enduring, even though at the end of the day, he's the one who broke your heart and she had nothing to do with that. Or at least that's not the narrative that you're even putting out. She's not saying, "Oh, you cheated on me with this girl who knew that we were together." But it just made it seem like kind of a slight, like that blonde girl, it just felt shady. And so when that song came out, a lot of people began to harass Sabrina Carpenter. And because a lot of people began to harass Sabrina Carpenter specifically, not too many people cared about Joshua Bassett as much as they cared about Sabrina Carpenter. But once people started doing that, then Sabrina Carpenter fans started harassing Olivia Rodrigo. And a lot of people who like Sabrina Carpenter were starting to say, "Hey, that was shady. You didn't have to put that in the song." And when that song becomes number one on Billboard, now everyone's looking at Sabrina Carpenter like she's a horrible person when she's not. And so it created this division amongst these two women that really doesn't need to be there, considering the fact that the source of the problem is a man. So it should have all of the anger should have just been directed towards him. And so I think that to me was off-putting. I felt like that was off-putting, that she would specifically reference Sabrina as that blonde girl. Like, you don't really need to do that. That felt way too shady, and it also felt like she was kind of baiting people into knowing who it was, considering everyone knew that she was with Joshua Bassett and everyone kind of already knew kind of the tea between him and Sabrina Carpenter and everything like that. So it just felt calculated, and I don't really like that. I don't really vibe with that. I feel like if you're going to be mad at someone, be mad at the guy who broke up with you. And Sabrina then came out with kind of like a clapback song called Skin, and she definitely clapped back, but I feel like at the end of the day, Olivia, you shouldn't have dragged her into the situation. A lot of people think that this is just a publicity stunt just to boost their careers, which I think that it has done. So if that was the purpose of all of this, then great. But if that's what the purpose of all of this was, it makes me look at Olivia kind of side eye and makes me look at everybody side eyed, because I don't really like that. I don't like calculated games. Especially when it comes to creating music, because I think music should be super intimate. And so if you're just creating drama through music, and you make it seem like it's intimate when it's not, I don't really vibe with that. I feel like that's fake. I don't like the calculated moves and everything like that. So to me, it's just, I don't like the whole situation. I didn't like all of the drama surrounding driver's license. So it made me not really want to listen to Olivia that much. I just felt like that was just a weird move, like a weird first move to make for, like, it just felt weird to me. It just felt weird to me. So then Olivia comes out with her second single, which is called Deja Vu. And the main line in the song is, do you get deja vu when she's with you? Talking about how, like, you know, you're doing everything with her that you used to do with me. Do you get deja vu about our relationship? And again, it's kind of clear that this is, again, about Joshua Bassett moving on from her to Sabrina Carpenter, if they're even dating. A lot of people are saying they're not even dating, so it's all very confusing. But it's clear that it's about Joshua Bassett, right? So again, we have this whole, like, okay, you're going after him for moving on from you. You're not really saying that he cheated, and you're specifically keep kind of mentioning the girl, and you're not really just attacking him. And so I think, again, that's kind of off-putting to people. Not to mention, the song is okay. It's not like the best song in the world. People were really bopping it. People really liked it. It got huge on TikTok yet again. But as far as the content of the song, it's like, okay, so you make two songs clearly about this person. And again, I know that Olivia is 18 years old, right? So this was probably her first love. So clearly she's going to be hurt. She's going to be heartbroken. Two songs, your two first singles ever about the same person. Fine, right? I mean, it's kind of giving like Driver's License Part 2 as far as Deja Vu is concerned. But like, okay, then we get to Good For You. And again, it's kind of the same subject matter as far as like, I'm mad that you broke up with me. Like, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm not in the best mental state. I'm not in the mental state that you're in because you moved on and I didn't. And even though I really like that song, and that's the only song I have from her, I really like it. Just, I like the kind of alt rock type vibe. That's like probably one of my favorite genres. At the same time, it's like, okay, your first three lead singles are about this man. All right, like, we get it. And it just gave like the same song in different fonts. And that's where my next critique comes in. I listened to Sour, which is Olivia's first ever album. It has 11 songs on it, and 10 were about Joshua Bassett. It was the same song in different fonts. The album was not bad. Like, the music is not bad, right? Like, she is a good writer, I think, especially for how young she is. I think that she definitely has potential. She definitely has talent. I'm not taking any of that away from her. But it was the same song in different fonts. That's literally the best way that I can describe it. It's like you keep giving the same exact subject matter. It's one thing to talk about love, right? Love and loss and breakups and makeups and whatever. But when it's like the same, like, it wasn't just, oh, I'm heartbroken, but in different ways. It was like, I'm heartbroken because you left me for a girl who was blonde. Literally, that was the entire album, except for the last song, which was about her friends, which I thought was I wish that she would have done more songs like that, right? Because it gives diversity of subject matter. It doesn't make you feel like you're listening to the same song over and over again. And in my opinion, I feel like some of those songs could have just been longer, combined and longer. Literally, I felt like some of those songs were not needed because you already have that song on a different track. So it felt very repetitive, and I don't think that, at least for me, that's kind of turning me off to her music, because it's just like, okay, what else can you bring? I know that this is her first album, but it's the same content over and over again, and it's the same exact subject matter. And it also, to me, the entire album, even though I love vulnerability, it was really weird how she kept talking about how she like is like really jealous. There was even a song I think called like Jealousy. Like she gives off very jealous vibes, and I don't necessarily know that a lot of people are going to like that, especially in this day and age of, you know, women only bringing, like, supporting women. When you say that you're jealous of another woman, it makes it feel like you're going to then try to bring her down, which is what a lot of people feel like she was doing when she was referring to Sabrina in Driver's License. And then if you listen to the album, it seems like she's kind of putting down another woman who this guy just picked over you. And so I don't think a lot of people are going to like that message. I don't think that a lot of people are going to vibe with that. The album was super appropriately named. She sounds very sour, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to like that. And it's just not something that I think everyone's going to like. Now, when you compare her, let's say, to Paramore, because a lot of people were comparing Good For You to Misery Business. When you look at Paramore, because I know their entire discography, and you look at their music, of course they're angsty and they're mad and they're upset, but it's like about different things, and it's not about it. Not all of their songs are about, oh, you picked another person over me, now I'm upset and I'm jealous of that person. It's like different subject matter if you listen to their albums, you know, especially because they were super young when they made like their first album, All We Know Is Falling. Like, I'm pretty sure they were like, what, 17? So around the same age. And you can see the difference of subject matter. Obviously, they're more people. Most of the band is guys, yada, yada, yada. There's definitely differences, but you can see that it can be done as far as a first album made by a teenager, you know, creating different types of music. I just think that some of those songs should not have been on the album, and she should have swapped it out for other songs that she's made, because it felt really, really repetitive, and I don't know if a lot of people are going to like the sourness of it. Now, the last kind of thing about Olivia Rodrigo is her friendship with Taylor Swift, and the comparisons that a lot of people are making between her and Taylor Swift. Because if you know anything about Taylor Swift, you know that Olivia Rodrigo is very reminiscent of her, considering the subject matter, how they write, and everything like that. When I was listening to one of the songs on the album, and you can see that I tweeted this if you look at my Twitter, I literally tweeted, I was like, this sounds very Taylor Swift-esque. And then I look at the songwriters, and one of them is Taylor Swift. So Olivia, she's stated many times that she's a Swiftie, that she loves Taylor Swift, grew up on Taylor Swift, everything like that. And Taylor Swift has referred to Olivia as like her child at one point. So it's clear that they have some sort of relationship, and that Olivia is very inspired by Taylor Swift. Now that can breed a lot of problems. Why? Because a lot of people don't like Taylor Swift. A lot of people don't like the fact that she always writes about her exes. That's something that's been said about her from the beginning of her career till now, and probably will never stop, is that she will write about her exes. I remember Speak Now specifically, she would literally name them. Like, Dear John is about John Mayer. She did not hold anything back. She was going to say your name. Teardrops on My Guitar, she says the name Drew, which is about this guy from high school. So Taylor Swift, that's something that she does, and is like a stamp of Taylor Swift. That's how she writes. And one thing that I noticed about Taylor Swift from, you know, the years that I've listened to her, is that it can come off as everybody else is the problem. You're the problem in every single one of my relationships. You're like, every single one of my relationships ends because of the other person. And when you write about so many different people, not trying to shade her, but when you write about that many different people, it starts to make it seem like maybe you're the problem, right? And I don't think that a lot of people like that about Taylor Swift. I don't think that a lot of people like how she writes about other people as if she's not ever the problem ever. And so Olivia is giving off that vibe. That's what she's giving off. if you know anything about Stan Twitter, she gives off the biggest Swiftie vibes in the world. And if you don't like Swifties, which a lot of people don't, I don't really like Swifties. I have a problem with a lot of Swifties. I do. And if you don't like Swifties, you're going to be off put from her from the jump. And it also makes it feel like she's going to be another one of Taylor Swift's minions, because Taylor Swift has minions. Like Cara Delevingne, great example, minion. Like, will lick the dirt off of Taylor Swift's cowboy boots. It's ridiculous. And I think that Olivia is giving off that vibe, and that's why a lot of Taylor Swift fans love her, and a lot of people who don't like Taylor Swift are starting to be very off-put by her. Now, I know that's a dumb reason, and that's specifically why I listened to Sour, because I didn't want Taylor Swift to sway my opinion of Olivia Rodrigo, but after I listened to her album, it did make me feel those same Taylor Swift vibes that can be enjoyable in music, but also makes you look at the person like, okay, when are you going to write about like what you did wrong in the situation? When are you going to place blame on yourself? And so I think that that's going to be off-putting for a lot of other people, as well as the fact that they might feel like she's going to be part of Taylor Swift's girl squad that she used to have or something like that. And she's going to be part of those people that will go to bat and go to war for Taylor Swift, that a lot of people, again, are off-put by, because Taylor's not going to war for you. Taylor is not going to war for you. So why would you go to war for her? However, I did see recently that Olivia sent a PR box to Kim Kardashian, and a lot of Swifties I could see were upset about that, but I thought that that was good, because it just shows that, Olivia's not going to be controlled by Taylor Swift, which, if you don't think that Taylor Swift controls people, then maybe you should look at the fact that one time Selena Gomez got Skims PR, and she posted about it saying thank you to Kim, and then immediately she deleted it, and then said, she posted on her story this story about how much she loves Taylor Swift. So I mean, that should tell you everything that you need to know about that. So overall, I think that Olivia Rodrigo has a lot of potential. I think that she has a long way to go. She's only 18 and this is her first album. So, I don't think that this is the end of her career. I don't think that I'll just write her off because I didn't really like the fact that her first album was so repetitive. I just think that that might be something that she could take into consideration. I definitely do think that she needs to work through kind of like the jealousy that she has for other girls. I don't think that that's healthy, and I don't think that that's really productive. And I think that if you want to be mad at anyone, be mad at Joshua Bassett. But also let that hurt go, baby girl. Like, you're going to get broken up with in your lifetime. So you're going to need to let that hurt go. So to me, I think it's a decent first album. I don't think that it's the best ever. I think that people are definitely overrating it and everything like that. But I think that she has potential. I definitely think that she's talented. I think that she has what it takes. And I think that if she, if she just grows up, which is what's going to happen, then she's just going to get better at music and it's just going to be great. So I don't doubt that she's going to do great things in the music industry, because I believe that she has that raw natural talent to do those things. However, I do think that certain things about her are kind of off-putting at first glance. When when you listen to her music, you feel like, okay, she kind of gives off like she's jealous. She specifically likes to talk about blonde girls, so she really doesn't like blonde girls that much. She kind of gives off that she's jealous, that she'll hold on to things, that she can kind of be sour, and that can be off-putting for people, along with the fact that, she might be a Taylor Swift spawn, which is not great, and a lot of people don't like. And I think that that would also make her kind of polarizing, because a lot of people, Taylor Swift can be a polarizing figure to a lot of people who might not like how she's come at different people. And people might look at Olivia like, okay, you're just going to be another minion, you're just going to be another follower of Taylor Swift, and people might not like that. And so I think that that might hinder her growth in some people's eyes if she doesn't kind of differentiate herself from Taylor Swift a little more and kind of do more of her own thing and collaborate maybe with people that Taylor is not that great friends with, or something like that, just to kind of show that she's her own person, that she can think for herself, that she can do for herself, because that's what a lot of people think about other friends of Taylor Swift. So I think that she should do that because I don't like Taylor Swift. But I also just think that she should do that because I think that's the best thing for her career, is if she's just cool with everybody. I think that there are certain artists in the industry who you can tell they're just cool with everybody. Like, I think a great example is like Meg Thee Stallion. She will collab with anybody. She collabed with Nicki and Cardi because she was like, I am not going to be tied to either one of these people and then have to pick sides when there's beef or anything like that, or something like that. You know, these are real things that people have to think about for their careers, and I think that Olivia should definitely think about that moving forward. But other than that, I think that she's super talented, and I just think that she's 18, and when you're 18, you can be angsty and you can be mad, and hopefully she just kind of grows with her music, and, you know, hopefully her music reflects maybe her own emotional and personal growth with just relationships and with herself. So that is it for this video. Please enjoy this obligatory picture of Ariana Grande in her wedding dress while I close out this video. Wow, first of all, sorry, I just have to acknowledge, like, Ariana really got married. Okay. I've been standing her since like 2010. So this is a moment for me. I need to have like a moment. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Why not? Go ahead and comment that down below. Please do subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to post more. I have another video coming out soon, so watch out for that. Turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video, which again will be soon because I actually have a video idea. Yay. Also, comment down below video ideas and everything like that. You know, comment down below what you want to see me cover, and I will do so, or hopefully I will do so. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. And yeah, that is it for me. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.